It's been quite surprising, especially considering the whole career as a total accident. It's been remarkable.
We were only going to do one gig at Eric's Club in 1978 in October. Who would have thought?
The month that we started in October of 1978, Echo and the Bunnymen and Teardrop Explodes also played their first ever concerts on the Thursday night that was free for members at Eric's. It was the night they used to kind of showcase local talent, and all sorts of people from Wah and Frankie Goes to Hollywood. It was just, there was more people in bands in the audience than there was on the stage. It was incredible.
You two, you've actually known each other since primary school, haven't you?
Yes. We went to the same primary school from being 7. So
you're not sick of each other yet?
No, well, the thing was we had a good break from each other because we essentially stopped for quite a number of years until we got back together in 2005. We've been together longer in this second incarnation of the band than we were the first time.
I guess in the early days, I mean, there are lots of influences, but at that time, Kraftwerk and bands like that were influencing so many others. I think it's fair to say that they probably influenced you in the early days, did they?
Completely. So, yeah. We've always worn that influence on our sleeve. We both heard Autobahn independently of each other and we loved it. I used to go to Liverpool and buy German import records, and we developed this symbiotic relationship because Paul had built a stereo because he's a tech geek. I only had a mono recorder. And so we started listening to things round at his house on a Saturday, and then we decided, I wonder if we could do something like this. But all we had was my upside down bass guitar, and he used to cannibalise his auntie's radios. We didn't even have a keyboard at the time. And that's how we started, very inauspiciously.
With very, very basic stuff. I didn't have a keyboard for the beginning of our working relationship.
Tell us about that first album in 1980. Always going to be a memorable thing, making your first album, but did you realise how much of an impact it would have?
The first album was sort of every song we'd written to date, and we just signed a deal with Disc Records that were a subsidiary of Virgin, and they gave us a 7-album deal. And when we read the deal, I mean, what we saw was that they could terminate the deal at any point after any album, but we had to stay there for the term of the deal. But we thought no one would buy the records.
We didn't think we were a pop group, did
no,
we?
We
were
didn't.
experimental, and we were amazed that anybody wanted to give us a record deal. So we built our own studio, budgeting for failure. We recorded the album ourselves, so that's kind of why it sounds like kids making garage synth punk, because it was.
We didn't know what we were doing, really.
But yeah, the third single, Messages, was finally a hit, and the album never got higher than 27 in the charts, but went gold. And yeah, that was the beginning of the path.
What about the first live gigs? Do you remember much about them?
We invented ourselves to be a live band, as Paul said, for one concert only. And it was just myself on bass, Paul on keyboards that looked like they'd been got out of a junk shop or something.
They were.
And we borrowed our friend's tape recorder because none of our friends actually wanted to play with us. So the rest of the band was the tape machine. And we went to play Eric's, and amazingly, the owners liked it and said, we've got this relationship with the Factory Club. Do you want to go there? And of course, that connection led to our first single, Electricity, on Factory Records.